Okay, so in this video, we're gonna take a look at creating a server for storing events, and I'll be using Kafka as a message queue. And let's start with uh, creating a server for Kafka. So if I take a look at my existing server that I have created, so there are three entries for Kafka. One, there are three servers, as you can see, and these servers are responsible for storing the messages that generally consists of events. So what events is that? Let's say if I call for a particular API, and I need to store that, hey, that yes, I'll be doing the logging, but I also want to generate a time series data for it, that how many times this API has been called. So in order to do that, one option is to, whenever the API has been called, I would just store that information in the a time series database. The other option is that whenever the API is being called, let's say I call it for getting a post or a comment, then how many times that API or the post is being called, I want to store that in a time series database. I would be using a event generation process and storing that event into a Kafka, and then sort of like a publisher subscriber or a publisher's consumer process, where publisher would generate the event and push it into Kafka, and Kafka would give it to the consumer, and the consumer would store that into a any database, sort of like a time series database. And in order to create a Kafka server, let me just go to the Docker Compose file of it. Docker Compose, and as you can see, we have a Docker Compose for Kafka. So the first server is on the port 9092, and this is the server. This is the port number that the other Kafka servers would connect to. Then I also have a volume for storing the messages on the server. Then these are some of the parameters that I'm passing to the Kafka server. So one is I'll be using a Kraft rather than a Zookeeper, which the new Kafka supports. And this is what is the job of this? It's a broker as well as a controller. Then I have on what port this is listening. So this is specified by the port number, the URL and the port number, as well as this is the location where it is listening onto, and this defines the node and the node ID and the broker ID, as well as this is the cluster ID that it should connect to. The same goes for the second server, but the second server would also have a different port over here, and this would specify the quorum. Even it exists over here, but the three servers needs to be specified in all the servers, right? So that is how these servers connect with each other, and these three servers should know each other's existence, hence this is being used. Then you have, yeah, pretty much that is the Docker Compose file for it. And let me exit this, and I'll just get Docker Compose and put it onto my another server. So I have another server. Go to cd apps, Kafka, nano docker compose. Mm, Kafka compose.yaml. Save this, exit, and docker. Let me start the server. Compose -f Kafka compose.yaml and up. And they should start pulling in the Kafka image and would start the server. So in this case, what it would do is it would go to Docker, fetch the Kafka, whatever the latest image of the Kafka is, and then it would start three servers connected with each other. So that would form a cluster of Kafka. As you can see in the my previous server. So we have three Kafka connected with each other, and I also need to check if any of the settings that I'm missing. But these are the common settings that I found on the internet, and I've put it in here. But I don't know if that replicates. Also, one important thing is that once you have Kafka set up on your server, you need to download a software called Kafka.io. This is the software that you need. It's also available on Mac, Windows, and Linux. The reason for this is that you need to connect to the Kafka server and check the status and all the messages, sort of like a UI version of Kafka, but it allows you to connect to the Kafka server just like MySQL GUI. And yeah, so this seems to be starting, but it failed. Okay, permission denied. So let's see a little. Okay, probably go to cd Kafka, a little data. Probably the problem, what I'm guessing, is because of this. Just a second. And let me for the data, let me allow it to be accessed by everyone. So it'll be sudo chmod 777 data. Cd data. Even this needs to be allowed, and server 1, server 2, server 3. Okay. Let me start it again. The starting of the servers will take time. Meanwhile, let me check. Meanwhile, let me check on the server for the Docker processes, and this will be Docker PS. As you can see, there are containers that have been created, but not sure if they have started. So in order to, one is to keep checking the logs for the server. And also, if I open up my Kafka, I need to disconnect. Do I need to disconnect? Wait, add a cluster. Cluster name would be, let's say, Kafka Len for my Lenovo laptop, and this would be Bootstrap server. Could be. I have three servers. So let me just check. If I go and duplicate, delete cluster, disconnect. Yes, disconnect, and just I need some information from this, and go this Kafka security now. No, okay. Anyways, I add a cluster, call it Kaf. This will be 212. The same goes over here, and this would be Kafka test connection. Connection was successfully made. Save and connect. Okay, it got connected. So there are no topics. Oh wait, what? Oh, there are no topics. Uh, hmm. Anyways, create a topic on this server. Test topic. Partition would be, I would say, 10. Replication factor of 3. And create a topic. Retention, time, retention. You can put all these information, but create a topic. The topic was created successfully. I don't know if I'll be able to produce any message onto this, but let me give it a try. Test message. Oh, okay. Got produced on partition 1. So if I refresh this, okay, it does not, it's not giving me a message, but as you can see, there is one message in this topic. Anyways, but at least we got the server up and running and got it connected. So before I close the video, I would say that I want this, since this is running on non-daemon mode, I want this to be running on a daemon mode. So it will stop the server, and I should be passing as -d for daemon mode. And yeah, so this goes. And let me check if I'm able to connect to the server. It will take some time because the server is just starting up. And anyways, but probably it will connect in some time. So that's it for this video. Thanks.